Alright, show me your screen. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Go in under your webcam. Your webcams.
In the settings.
On your sources. You see that folder on your screen?
Okay, yeah.
Go to. Okay, that's. Go to plus, actually. Close out of that. You don't need that.
Hmm?
Go to that plus. The 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 addition symbol. The plus will.
This? Oh,
Next.
this. Okay. Alright.
What webcam is it with? What's the brand?
Display capture? No.
I'm gonna install screen. Just figure this out for you.
I didn't hear that. What? Media source? No.
You need to add your webcam as a video output. Yeah. Or a media source. That's how it used to work in OBS.
Okay. Video capture.
The guy from Trivium and Pokemon.
Okay, here we go. Gee, alright.
There you go. See?
And then we, what? Make that our...
You want to make it your screen? Click down. So it works. I'm assuming it works like Photoshop. So put it down in the webcams folder under sources. So drag the video capture down in there, and then put it underneath the webcam. Well, actually, you're gonna want to put it. Take it out of there and put it below the event bar folder.
Oh, fuck.
No, you need to put it at the bottom of that layer.
Right, okay. Yeah. I see now. Like the layers in Photoshop.
And now just click and drag it.
Make it bigger. Okay.
You really don't need all that extra bullshit, so you can actually just delete that webcams folder
Right.
if you're not gonna end up using a webcam for yourself.
I probably won't to start with. Just for like, um, self-esteem issues and all that. Event bar, that's probably fine. I should just be
Normally,
able to hide this. Yeah, I can just hide it.
You
Perfect.
call it self-esteem issues, but bitch, it's more like technical issues at this point.
It, you know what? You always gotta deal with those technical issues to start with.
Right. Okay.
Uh,
Oh no! Your webcam's 4:3, so it won't sit pretty. You're gonna have to have black bars.
damn it. Alright, let's even 77 pixel.
It's 178, 176. It's not gonna. It would be technically 177 because it's.
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know. The video download was canceled. Please try again.
Oof.
On stream, that looks fine.
Okay.
Everything's out of focus, but I'm assuming.
Hmm? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be moving the mic around, or moving the camera around as I go. Question: is the audio good? Too quiet? Too loud?
Hold on. I have to move in.
Too quiet? Okay, I was worried I was too loud, but I turned it down by like 20 decibels. Probably want to make myself louder than. Yeah, I can do that. Lower the audio of the desktop or the music. Alright, so lower myself like 15%. Does that sound good? And that's perfect. Alright. Alright, that's good. I'm gonna need to find something to put the camera on. Like a book or something. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. How did that look, boys? That looks good. I wasn't there. I'll give you mod now. It's fine. How do I do that? How do I don't think I can do mod from Dreamlabs, actually. I think I have to... hold on. I think I have to do that from Twitch itself. There we go. Alright. You have been modded, my friend. Don't abuse your privileges. Alright. Wonder if maybe I should probably definitely add a background of some kind here, so that you don't just see in the door. Yeah, those are good. Those are good ideas, huh? Is that like from the suggested list? Because I would not have thought of those. Alright. Yeah, so I figured I'd stream my journey painting the Cities of Sigmar army that I've built and or 3D printed. I think obviously the first thing we want to do is figure out what color scheme we're going to use. We've got this guy here, and not a model that I actually use in my army, so I figure he'll be perfect for a test paint. Don't use purple. Wasn't planning on it for these guys. These are the elves, wood elves. And the faction that I'm playing is Living Cities, which is like a sort of a druidic kind of deal. So I'm thinking it is pretty good. Got like a lot of sort of natural looking greens and some bronze and gold. I was considering doing like a winter-esque theme. Like I have an idea of what I want to do for the dwarves and the Sylvaneth. Actually, I suppose if I have their schemes ready, that's maybe the best one to start with, huh? For the elves, yeah. That might be a good, that might be a good pick. White for sure, maybe like a silvery color, like a gray. I don't know so much about blue, but maybe like blue highlight, that might work. I gotta figure out how to focus this camera. Cause I don't want to be like this far away and then you can't really see anything. I mean, it is like a $25 camera. I can't imagine, you know, the quality's gonna be great to begin with. Well, let's just grab some colors and see what we got going. Lamian. Skin tones are pretty standard, I think. That's your normal, like, you know, skin tone. For weapons, because oh, that might be. That's maybe a better background, huh? Having the paint holders here. Yeah, that'll work a lot better. And then I still have another thing of paint. Alright. Yeah, I think if I were to go like the regular colors, I'd be using Castellan green, which is sort of like this natural looking green, for like the cloaks and hood. Probably want to use the standard like skin tones. I think this is his lab. Yeah. And Cadian. Because I'm a slut for this stuff, this bronze color. Maybe at the base coat we'll do lead belcher. I mean, there's nothing wrong with their something similar to their base colors, I think. Like green and some gold. Actually, I know I have the like official heavy metal paint scheme somewhere. Let me look for that. And see what they recommend. The Eternal Guard? No, it's a lot of green. We can go at this one have their colors on them. It's either Wildwood Ranger color than it. like the one I can't find. Now, judging by what it looks like, it's mostly crystalline green, with maybe some incubi darkness for the shield. And then like, whoops, Lauren Forest and Ogren Camo as highlight. And I would say that's kind of like their big thing. And then they have like the weapon like shaft, the pulls are like an off-white color, like a pine color. And then the armor is like bronze. So yeah. That wouldn't be like too hard to do. That'd mostly be these colors with maybe lead belcher with a thicker glaze or layer over that. Yeah, and then I can sprinkle in little details of colors, like the flag here, the top of the flag is like a heart. I can do that in like a corn red. So yeah, I think I might go with that. Well, you know what? Let's quit talking and just get to painting and see how it looks then. I'm gonna go fill up the pot of water real quick. Okay. Probably want a medium layer brush. No, medium base brush. Maybe small base brush. That'll like. That'll work just fine, I think. Alright. Do Stellan Green, see how this looks. Always make sure to shake your hot paint real good. I haven't opened this one yet. I don't normally do like greens. Normally I would say red is what I normally do. Water. Get it nice and thinned out. Probably should be using a wet palette, but you know what, fuck it. And we just casually apply the green calmly. Pretty much the entirety of the, at least the top here, the hood. I wonder if this might actually be better done in raw flesh, or maybe the bottom of the cloak can be done in that. It's like a really dark green color. I really like it. I think it's a good color. Well, if it doesn't look good, you can always just do it differently next time or paint over it. And this is a test mini, so I'm not like too concerned about mistakes or anything. Because we're just painting mini, and we're just seeing how this looks before moving on to the next, to the actual army. Encourage you to paint along if you have any minis yourself, or if you just want to paint, or do anything artistic really. What this place is for. Yeah, this is kind of like a dark. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think this looks like a good green color. Yeah, maybe Wildflash would work at the bottom here? I think that might actually look pretty good. Yeah, let's try that. While we're waiting for the Castellan to dry. Pick him up. Oh god, my mic picking that up? It is, oh shit. Yeah. This is, start down here. Jingle. God, that's way too low. Holy shit. A little bit more than that. Nearly spelled it. Paint's being pretty runny right now, which is maybe because I add a little bit too much water there. It's usually why paint runs. Could also just be the surface that it's being painted onto. I think this is well, if you're wondering what the primer is all about, by the way, so this is called Zenithal highlighting. You do it in the undercoating stage or the priming stage. And what it is the you first paint it with black primer, or like a really dark primer, and then you, from the top, or like right above the mini, very white. Usually, like, the best results come from an airbrush, and specifically airbrushing it with white ink. That would seem to produce the best results, but I don't have an airbrush and I don't have white ink, so instead I just use white spray paint primer. The only, like, it achieves the same result. The only, like, difference is just that you end up with a little bit more, like, blotches of paint as opposed to, like, a clean coverage from above. So, and the idea is that because you've undercoated part of your mini in a dark color and part of it in a lighter color, when you paint over it with your paint, like I am now, the darker part will stay dark, like the black primer, where you paint over the black primer, will be darker than where you paint over the white primer. And it creates like a natural highlight color. I like this. I think this looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not hating this. Try and get in between the cloak and try and get as much coverage as I can. I don't think that looks terrible. Get this sort of that sort of look going to it. I really gotta figure out how to focus that. That's too close, isn't it? Can't really see what. That's focus. So this is the focus range, but this is too far away for you guys to really see the detail. Well, I guess I'll have to pick up a better camera at some point. If you were here for the first, 20 minutes, I was trying to figure out how to work the camera in the first place. I am not a very, technologically savvy person. So I think skin tones we can do, those will be different depending on the model. So I won't bother doing it here. Let's see if I can mimic that, white, half that they were going for with the pole of the weapon. Looks like it's maybe Wraithbone with if I had to bet, yeah. Well, maybe it's not Wraithbone. No, I wonder if it's the color I'm thinking of. I doubt it's Korax white. That's like a pure white. We'll do Wraithbone. And then I think I'll try and glaze like a grayish color on maybe Stormvermin or Ministratum. Get a smaller brush for this. This small layer brush. Alright. Brush is ready. Got our Wraithbone. We'll have to mix that up. Okay. Might put that paint. It is a really chunky paint. So I'll pick a little bit more water, wet, water, wet. Alright. Yeah, I'm almost certain now that it's Wraithbone that they're using. Now that I'm putting it on the model here. And I'm liking it. I think this will look good. Now the actual model that I'll be painting in the army are the Eternal Guard. They come from the same set that this model comes from, but they're a different unit entirely. Game-wise, this unit is more like a damage-oriented unit. They like lore-wise, they always they're like monster hunters basically. They like hunt the big giant beast of the mortal realms of Age of Sigmar. The Eternal Guard are well, basically just that, guard unit. They have shields, they have pikes, and they fit perfectly into my army style, which is sitting down on an objective and not fucking moving, as our resident moderator can attest to. However, he has not faced the Eternal Guard in a game yet, because I've just gotten them, and I haven't painted them, so looks like there's wrappings here, so we'll want to wait on painting that. So we'll just paint the bottom here, I think the top. I don't know, I don't think I want to just do, like, paint dreams where all I do is paint, like, silently for 3 hours. I do want to talk to people and talk about stuff. Build your new army around countering my, my sitting down and making a wall. How do you build, like, how would you build around that, I suppose? Like, what's the strategy going in? They're, like, trying to go with overwhelming force, or they're trying to just, like, killing my heroes? Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I do know you got the, what the fuck is it called? Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon? That's it? Yeah. So, yeah, Overwhelming Force, I guess, is the name of the game. Okay. Yeah. I'm liking these base colors, they're looking good. The Castellan, I think, doesn't look like it's fully dried yet, so we'll keep working on other stuff for now. Alright, we're gonna move this a little bit better so that I'm not constantly moving this out of the way. Alright. Yeah, so the armor is the next big thing. And this is maybe an easy choice, maybe a hard choice, I'm not sure yet. I think the leather, like the gloves and the boot, those things be like a dark brown, and I think that works with our like woodland theme. You guys have different, they don't have different chest plates than the Eternal Guard, so this works perfectly actually. Looks like they do, okay. Alright. Looking at the color scheme as, you know, they paint it. Heavy metal is what they call it, I think, the default scheme. And I think for these guys I'm always gonna base it off of them. Maybe vary in a little few different ways. I think the best leather, like dark brown, is Rhinox hide. Like a rich brown, kind of warm looking. So that should work for the gloves and boot. And we want to do these first before we do the armor over it. The armor over it is gonna be it's going to be harder to paint under the armor if the armor has already been painted. So we can screw up and paint over the armor here, and it won't matter because we'll be painting over that anyway. So that's why we paint things that are underneath. And you see this in like shading or in painting in like traditional painting as well. You don't want to paint over. You don't want to paint like the things that are like supposed to be closest to the viewer. Let's get a little bit of Rhinox hide on the brush. We won't need too much of this because it's like it's just the gloves and boots, and based on the official scheme, it looks like it's also part of the chest plate. I might not do that though. I'm not sure yet. Let's do the boot. Yeah, see how that's like a rich brown color? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you also generally want to do like all the base colors before you do the layer colors. That's assuming you're painting it like the heavy metal style. Most people don't, and that's perfectly fine. And if you're just looking to get an army like table ready, I would suggest you don't either, because it takes a lot more time and a lot more like detail work. And oftentimes like just doing like the base colors and like slapping your shades on will work just as well. A little bit more paint. And it doesn't matter if I like accidentally hit the base that this mini is standing on, because at the end of all this, once these are all painted, we will be basing them, which is say putting some kind of like foliage or sand or something on the bottom to kind of give it like a feeling of it being in a physical space. That makes sense. You'll see what I mean like when I get to that stage, but that won't be for a while, I think. So here, I don't know if you can see it, I messed up a little bit, and just a tiny little bit splotch on the grain here. That won't matter, because we're going to go over this entire cloak with the second coat anyway, so it won't show up. Just remember, this is paint, and it's just paint, and if you screw up, you can paint right over it. Maybe I added a little bit too much brown there. Alright, now let's do the gloves. I just didn't follow my own advice. So there's a bit here, there's like a guard here, or leather wrapping, underneath the arm and underneath the hand. And I just started painting the leather glove that wraps around the hand guard. Like a big old dummy. It's fine though. I don't know if I'll do that. I don't know if I'll even paint this guard, because I'm not sure. I don't think any of the Eternal Guard have that kind of like hand guard on their weapon, so there's no need to paint it. Yeah, that kind of thing happened, and you know, I would recommend painting like everything that you're gonna paint the same color all at once. And sometimes that is gonna be the case where you like overlap. like that, where like for some colors it would be, you know, underneath another color in some spots, but in other spots it's actually over it. That case, pick one, stick with it, and then move on to the other. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really like, it won't affect too much the actual paint, or the actual mini. Now, you can paint too many layers over a mini, but you have to go pretty, you have to paint quite a bit before you start getting that. So what here is the chest plate and the belt, it looks like, are the, yeah, I might as well see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can paint right over it. Chest plate here. Yeah. I don't know, it's not bad. It certainly works well in giving the mini that sort of earthy tone. You know, these elves are, if you come in from Warhammer Fantasy, these are like your wood elves. Sadly, not all of the models from Warhammer Fantasy made it into Age of Sigmar. Like the Glade Guard, I know did not, and most of the hero models did not. In fact, I think the Wanderers, as they're now called, have the least amount of heroes of any like faction. I think they just have the Nomad Prince. And that's it. The Nomad Prince, by the way, is my general. Name is Eliphas Halfstag. And his name is that because the model, I got it off of eBay, and half of the horn snapped off on one side, which is unfortunate, but I actually liked it. I think it looked good. It gives it like a bit of character, you know? Alright, is all this painted? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, alright. I don't know. I think it looks okay. I don't hate it. I think one thing you'll learn pretty quickly about me as like an artist is that I don't like doing things like the standard way. If that makes sense. Like a lot of, like Warhammer especially, has like a recommended like paint scheme. And that's like the heavy metal scheme, and that's sort of like the default, I suppose. And I don't like doing that because I'm a rebel and a firebrand like that. For example, I do have Stormcast that are mostly painted, and I'll grab one and show you. So if you've never played Warhammer or anything like it, never played it or anything like it, the Stormcast have like a gold and blue look to them. Like gold armor and like blue robes and stuff, and I've done gold and red, usually. I think I'm gonna stick with it. I do have a few Stormcast models in this Living Cities army that I'm gonna be finishing for sure. This isn't one of them. The Knight Incantor model and the Celestar Ballista. And they just kind of reinforce a few points that I think were particularly strong at the time. But those I'll be getting to those eventually. But they're pretty low on my priorities since they're already mostly finished. For now, keep working on this boy. Or girl. I'm actually not sure. I think this model has one of those like molded breastplates with the chesticles. I mean, I suppose if it's an elf, it's kind of hard to tell. Anyway, I mean, you say that, but there's like pretty clearly defined breast on this model, this specific model. I think half of them have it, and half of them have like breasts, which would make them guys. Yeah. And I think it is half and half, yeah. Okay. We're gonna need to do a second coat of the Castellan, and we'll do that. And then we'll do a second coat of the Waflesh. I do like how that looks. The recommended, I think, is actually a lighter green on the bottom part of the cloak. But I like Waflesh. It's like a real dark green, as you can see. I think it'll look good. I might do it for the shield as well on the Eternal Guard. If I don't do Incubi the Darkness, that's probably what I'll do. Incubi Darkness is like a dark blue-green, like a really dark blue-green. It's basically almost black. It's like really nice for things that you like almost, you want them like almost black, but not quite black. That's probably what you want to go for. Breaking my own rules again here. This is technically above the bottom part of the cloak, but I think it's fine. Can't abide by the rules all the time in art. That's why it's art and not science. Feel free to talk, you guys. You know, part of this is just about, you know, talking to people and just reaching out and having fun, getting a social life. I'm sure as fuck not getting one in real life, that's for sure. Good old self-deprecating humor, am I right? And I think for sure I won't be doing just art dreams. I haven't worked on it in a while, but I do a lot of world building as well. And I think one of the streams I'll do for sure is working on the big giant like world map that I've got. Most of the way, actually. I'm lying. I'm nowhere near finished on the world map. So at some point I'll do that, and maybe like we'll do a writing stream with that as well. Oh, did I pick up? Oh, I picked up a little bit of brown. Okay. Yeah. Touching up. And then anything more, this Castellan green, right? Yeah, pretty much the rest of the armor. Okay. See how that looks too. This is a jam. not as chill as the rest of my music has been thus far. I just picked like the default show playlist, and if that one like Pressful or whatever, I shouldn't be getting demonetized for it. Well, not demonetized. This isn't YouTube. Fuck, get out of here, YouTube. With the whatever the term, like silenced or whatever, because I know that happens if you play copyrighted music. So. Should probably link my Instagram on here at some point, huh? Usually once I like finish them, I post them to my Instagram. I suppose I have to post to my Instagram first before before I can do that. The middle here, paint that just yet. Kind of like a Doctor Doom vibe from these colors. Oh right, the VOD gets muted. That's what it was. Yeah, like I was saying, I think it's like a Doctor Doom kind of vibe, like the dark green sort of cloak. Not a bad look, actually, I don't think. I think this is... I'm not so sure about the Castellan green for like the skirt here around the waist. Wonder if maybe a different color than green might work better there. Or maybe if I kept the skirt this green, and then like the middle like tabard area, I did a different color. I feel like that might work. Although part of it might just be that it's not quite dried and dark yet. So we'll wait for it to dry and move on to raw flesh again. Always shake, even if you just choke myself out. How's everybody else doing today? Everybody's having a good day? Nobody's having like a panic attack or anything? Jeez. Feel like I need glasses looking back at my stream. I can barely see because it's unfocused. Yeah, I'll probably have to get like a better webcam if that's the case, because I don't, obviously I don't want like, you know, such a high detail thing like this, you don't want to have like an unfocused camera on it, you know, because then like how the fuck are you supposed to see anything, you know? gotta stop forgetting to follow my own rules. Just painted right over part of the Castellan again, like an idiot. Spooky music. Wait, is that spooky music? That is kind of spooky music. I feel like I'm about to get like jump scared by a couple of creepy, like, fucking, whatever, those like girls from The Shining or whatever. You know what I mean? It actually occurs to me, I don't think I've ever actually seen The Shining, like the old Kubrick movie. I don't know, I just never been like on or anything. Couple of spooky boys. Yeah. It looks like the under the like under pants or whatever here are raw flesh as well. I don't know. The raw flesh is, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good. I wonder if maybe it'd look better as like the top color of the. Maybe not. Hard to tell. Definitely think it'd look better like the center here of the armor, opposed to Castellan flesh. Castellan flesh would look too bright. Because raw flesh is a much darker color than Castellan green. It's meant to be like the orc skin tone, and raw. I suppose if you don't come from like a Warhammer background, you don't really know what that means. Oh no, I suppose maybe orcs are kind of ubiquitous amongst fantasy, isn't it? Hard to tell. Yeah, I'm sorry about the camera quality, you guys. Like, okay, there's so much, you can see like so much detail on my hand back here. And back here it's focused, but it's so far away that there's, you know, you wouldn't be able to see any detail anyway. Oh, that is a shame. You're a 40k orc player. What are you? Disappointing, truly. Alright. Well, we should do the medals. Normally, because I'm an idiot, how do I do that? Oh, wait, what? I don't think I'm doing it right. I'm trying to apparently change the focus point. Yeah, no, it's not focusing. I think this might just be like a set focus point. Is that like a thing on cameras? They have like a set focus point? I feel like if that is a thing, that's what's happening here. Alright. Well, that is my bad. Oh well. Oh well. It's okay. Next stream, hopefully, maybe, or in a couple of streams, it might be better. We'll see. It's alright. With the old Bobwa not that out of focus. Yeah, but like, I don't know. Games Workshop Mini, this is a Games Workshop Mini, have like a lot of detail in them, and they're really, really well like crafted. So like being able to show you guys the, you know, the focus, being able to show you guys like the detail that I'm painting, it'd be nice. Although I suppose for this one it doesn't matter too much because it's again just like a test mini and we're only doing like the broad colors. So we'll stop fiddling with it for now and get back to painting. And then for next stream, maybe, or a couple of streams down the line, I might be able to have a better camera or something. No, neither am I. I'm like notoriously bad with technology, software and hardware. Just and character quirk. So Light Belcher is a bit too dark for what I want to go with for these guys. And what I want to do actually is this kind of like bronze color. But at the same time, this bronze color is a lot thinner than the base color, because it's a layer paint, so it's thinner and it's meant to like go over a base paint. You can tell the difference like at a glance. This red marker here means it's base. Blue means it's layer. Then there's a few others. This yellow means it's a texture paint, so it'll have like beads and stuff built in. This green is a shade. We will get to shade because they are the crack cocaine that makes painting miniatures easier and look better, like by 300% every time. And then there's a few others. There's a recently like a new line of paint called Contrast. And I guess they're orange. I don't use them too often, but occasionally we'll use them. And then Technical is this gray. Technical paint is a sort of catch-all term for like anything that has a very specific purpose. So like these three, the red, blue, and green, are all meant for like gems. Like diamonds, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, that kind of stuff. So it's like a semi-translucent color that will kind of have like a somewhat like it'll like, it's hard to explain properly. I do have them, yeah. You've seen me paint them on stuff before, actually. For the the Weird Kid mini, the Dungeons and Dragons mini, the ones that have like spell effects, it's done in like a clear plastic, and putting these kinds of paint on that clear plastic will give it a spell effect, or make it look like it's like a spell effect. So like if you put blue on it, I think I did blue for like a lightning effect, the red for like a, not fire, no, it was a fire effect. This one back here is called Oxide, and if I shake it up, this stuff is meant to like weather copper, or give it like a, you know, that like greenish copper, like weathered copper effect. I know there's a term for it, and I don't know what the term is. That's what that does. I don't use this very often. I imagine if I was playing like a Nurgle faction. Wait a bit. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you in a little secret. The reason why is because Games Workshop wants to make a hella money. And that's how they do it, by selling you all kinds of paints that they convince you are necessary. Most paints, most of these you could probably mix with like a few base colors, like a few like standard like red, green, blue kind of colors. This you could probably make by taking a brown and like mixing in like a sand. This you can make, I actually have made some of this. You can make this by like mixing in ink and water and medium and flow aid. There's plenty of metallic colors out there, and metallics can mix. I don't think they mix very well most of the time, but they can. Yeah, and then the layer and base distinction, I think, is only a distinction that Games Workshop makes, and they've only done that to make more money. You really don't need, like, you usually don't need to regard layers and bases. And then contrast is something new. Contrast is actually pretty interesting. I might as well explain, well no, we'll explain what it does when we get to the shade. Because I think it's easier to see what it does than explain it. But for now, let's do a base coat of Leadbelcher. Just one. Yeah, the layers are a lot thinner, like a lot. But that really is pretty much it. They're also usually lighter, like in tone. You can see a lot of, it is Leadbelcher, yep. So like these like dark colors are all bases, and then some of like the layer colors are, I have some, yeah, like this is a layer blue as compared to a base blue. So usually your layer colors are a lot lighter in tone. Cause you only want to put like one, like you only want to use a little bit on it and like on highlight areas to like spice up the base colors. It's like shading in regular like traditional drawing and painting. So we'll use Leadbelcher at the base for the metals, and then I think we'll go over that with Sycorax Bronze, which is the which is my favorite color, just in general. I think it looks really good on pretty much everything I do. Most of my Stormcast army has it on them. Oh, I forgot to mention when I showed the Stormcast, just the leaders are painted gold for mine. The like infantry, the grunt, the normal, I guess, models are all painted with bronze instead of gold. But they still have the same red color. Oh, let's go. I think metallics tend to show like the zenithal highlighting like the best. just because like we'll see, you know, the top up here will be slightly brighter than the bottom, where, you know, it wasn't painted white. I get the feeling like his this like dark iron color is just not like elven, you know. Elves are like graceful and all that. Um, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, normally, especially with like, listen, Dark Eldar, we disregard them entirely. We're like, do they even count as elves, really? Sort of. So, faction-wise, pretty much all of like the Order factions from the old world, are combined into the general faction of Cities of Sigmar, which is the army that I'm playing. And Cities of Sigmar is basically that, you know, human from the old world empire, high elf, but like just the Phoenix Guard and like the like Phoenix stuff, dwarves, but not the old Slayers, because they have been turned into the Fire Slayers faction. They got like model updates and stuff. Dark Elves still exist, and they've been sort of like bred between a number of sub-factions of the City of Sigmar. So the Wood Elves in Cities of Sigmar are now called the Wanderers, because they're like nomad. So it sort of ties into the lore. So before the beginning of like the game canonically taking place, Chaos. So there was the Mortal Realm, which is like 8 realms that are all like tied to the different schools of magic from the old world. So you've got life, death. Well, it makes sense in context, I think. So the mortal realms are each like universes, sort of the specific realm of magic. So life, death, beast, or like wild, or whatever, fire, metal, the heavens, which is Azir, and are there any others? And then outside of those realms were the Chaos realms. They were like sort of unable to enter the mortal realms for a while, but then they got in and started wrecking shit, and that was called the Age of Chaos. And what happened toward, like, at a certain point in the Age of Chaos is Sigmar, God King Sigmar, retreated back to his realm, the realm of heavens, Azir, Azyr, and he took with him basically a whole bunch of refugees, and that include all of these factions. Yeah, Shayusha Death, Skaven and Tomb King magic. Skaven still have Warpstone, that's like corrupted magic. And Tomb Kings, I think, just would have had death magic. Maybe. I'm not sure. And I'm certain there's like a realm that I'm forgetting about. Oh, of course, light and shadow. Um, so yeah, so all like the yeah. That still Skaven still exists, and that all like that kind of magic still exists. Um, got like different lore behind it, but not like super different. It's really watery. Um, oh geez, I'm getting off track. So yeah, so the so all the like mortal factions, I guess, like mortal, quote unquote, retreated with Sigmar to Azir, and then like Sigmar closed all the gates into Azir. So there was no way for Chaos to get in, but anybody else that was on the other side of those gates was stuck with Chaos for like thousands of years. And during that time, Sigmar created the Stormcast Eternals, who are like the poster boys and girls of the Age of Sigmar, and he reopened the gate and sent them out to secure the warp gate. And with them, with the Stormcast, came the cities of Sigmar. I think they were called the I think they were called like the Free People or something at the time, or like when the game was released. And it was basically like all of the old models from old Warhammer Fantasy that belonged to Dwarf, Human, High Elf, Wood Elf, and Dark Elf. And there was some like slightly changed lore. So like these Wood Elves. Yeah, no, actually one of the reasons why I'm playing Cities of Sigmar is because I like playing armies that are just sort of like a mishmash of different factions. Yeah, like that. Like, I'm not a huge fan of, like, sticking to one, like, and you can do that. You can do that with any of the factions, because they're called Grand Alliances, so there's 4, Order, Death, Chaos, and Destruction. And you can have a Grand Alliance army that is just units from that one Grand Alliance, even if it's not from the same faction specifically. The only reason you wouldn't do that is because, like, mechanically, they're not actually all that, like, good. Except for maybe Death. Like, a Grand Alliance Death army, I think, would do pretty good. Well, listen, the feud between Nagash and Sigmar, is long and mostly Nagash's fault. Really, listen, that may have been controversial to you, it wasn't to me. Having, like, read through more of the lore and stuff, it seems like it's mostly Nagash being a bitch. Which is not new to him, to be honest. Yeah, so, one of the things you can do in Age of Sigmar that, like, you can't really do in, like, 40k, for example, is play, like, a full army of just, like, various different factions. And I think most of the factions have, like, a better one that's just... Okay, have, like, a better army that's just, like, okay, or what there's like a sub army that's like a mix of certain units. So for Order, it's Cities of Sigmar. For Death, it'd be Legions of Nagash, which Matt just pointed out. For Chaos, it would be Slaves to Darkness, which is like all of the armies that follow Archaon, the Everchosen, who had a thick fucking model, by the way. I will never not praise that model. How was I gonna say? For Destruction, if Destruction have one yet? No, they don't. You could maybe count Big Wa. Maybe. But that's like just orcs. And I think maybe goblins. No, I don't. I mean, destruction's like criminally, you know, underutilized at the moment. They are getting a new army, but they've been sort of separated. Orcs have been separated with themselves. There's like two main orc factions. The Iron Jaws and the Bone Splitters. The Iron Jaws are like the military, like militaristic, like armor clad. They're more like the orcs from. they're more like the orcs from 40K, but without like the I don't think they have the like belief make things happen sort of deal. The Bone Splitters are like meant to be like this savage sort of caveman like orcs. A lot more like the orcs from like most of the orc units from Total Warhammer would probably be in a Bone Splitters army. Yeah. So like your Arrow Boys and your the like Gore Grunters, those kind of boys, those would all be in a Bone Splitter army, I believe. But then Big Wa combines both of those. You can play both units of those. And then goblins have the Gloom Bite, which is they're like mushroom tripping goblins that worship a moon. That's great. I mean, frankly, their aesthetic is hysterically amazing. They also have the squigs, I believe. Most like the Gloom Bite, I think, has squigs. Yeah. Yeah. Destruction doesn't have like a big combined army. They have a couple of like smaller combined armies, like the ogres have like combined armies, and orcs have combined armies, but they don't have like a big one like Chaos or City of the Sigmar, Legions of Nagash have. They are getting a new faction pretty soon, in like a couple of months, called the Sons of Behemoth, and that's like, it's all giant. It's just giant. Oh yeah, no, that's what Cities of Sigmar is. Like that's actually what I've got going on in my army. Yeah, different factions, like with different tactics. So like I've got a unit of Iron Drakes, and a unit of Iron Breakers, combined with Handgunners. I don't think I have any Elven range. I don't, no, and there's a reason for that, because there's barely any in Cities of Sigmar. The only Elven range units I think that I can remember are the Wanderers. The Wood Elves have one. They don't have Glade Guard anymore. They just have Sisters of the Watch, which is like magic bows. I think the High Elves? No, Lothar no longer exists. Nope. I know the Dark Elves have like the crossbows. whatever they're called, like Dark Shards or whatever. I know those still exist, and the Chariot still exist. No, the Lost Entity Guard no longer exists. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of models that don't exist anymore. When the game first came out, like, most of the models were legal, but now they've cut down on them. I think the Dwarven Artillery isn't legal. Hammers and... No, hammers are still legal. Dwarven handgunners aren't. Like pretty much everything, all of the heroes for the Wood Elves are gone except for the Nomad Prince. Like all the White Lions were legal in Age of Sigmar like 1.0. Because I know they came out with war scrolls and stuff in the original Order of Battletome, but they're no longer legal in Age of Sigmar. White Lions do not exist, they're not canon anymore. Which is really a shame because they look sick as fuck. Yeah, the High Elves like just got a new faction called the Lumineth Realm Lord, and they're like extra high elves, like high elves. I think I don't actually know all that much. All I know is that they were created by Teclis and Tyrion, because they're both gods now. And I know Teclis is now playable as like a model on the battlefield. And there's actually a few factions that have like playable gods now. The Sylvaneth have Valerial, the Ever Queen. The Lumineth now have Teclis. Death has Nagash. If you count Archaon as a god, then yeah, he exists. Sigmar does not have a playable model. He's meant to be like a backline now. And he's like staying back, helping with the... Are they? I didn't realize that. Yeah. Yeah, it's really a shame. Most of the high elf stuff is gone. I think it's like just Phoenix Guard, Anointed, and the Phoenixes. I think that's it for maybe. I don't know. I didn't look. I don't have any like high elf, I don't think, in my army. And part of that, so one of the things with like Cities of Sigmar is that one of the things with Cities of Sigmar is that like you want to like stack buffs on specific units, and there's like a lot of combos. So usually there's like a hero that will combo with a unit. So if I've got, and it's like specific sub factions that they combo with. So like this is a proxy for a free guild general. I 3D printed it out because fuck paying GW any more money than I already have. But this will work in buffing any free guild unit that I have on the field if he's nearby them. And I think the only free guild unit I have is the handgunner. So all he needs to do... Oh, and I have Demigryph Knight. So he'll buff them if he's nearby them. For another example, this is a Dwarven Rune Lord that I also 3D printed, because fuck giving GW any more money than I already have. They buff the Dwarven unit. I've got another dwarf hero. Yeah, I've got another dwarf hero that's meant to buff my artillery by like healing it and preventing it from damaging itself. Because that's like the thing with a lot of the City of the Sigmar artillery, is that they can do damage to themselves for more like damage output. But this hero can negate that, or heal it back. Yeah. And like I said, I'm playing City of the Sigmar. I'm playing the sub-faction of City of the Sigmar, which is called the Living City. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I can play Sylvaneth, another model I 3D printed, because fuck giving GW any more money than I already have. Although I did pay for a lot of the other Sylvaneth models, because frankly I think most of the Sylvaneth models look really good. And there aren't very many good proxies for them. By now the iron, or the lead belcher should have dried, for the most part. So, we're gonna go back over it with, the bronze color, I think. Yeah. Age of Sigmar is a fun game. I've really enjoyed playing it. I know me and Matt, the mod here, are planning on playing Kill Team for 40k. But I don't think either of us plan on building like a full 40k army. Am I right in that? He's been talking about painting his orcs, because he's playing orcs for Kill Team. And my Kill Team, I think, is gonna be Sisters of Battle. Just because I found a lot of models of them that I can print off. Listen, I don't like paying GW money, and there's plenty of good models. And I have a 3D printer. So, fuck capitalism. Fuck corporations. I don't mind intellectual property theft of corporations. That's my thesis. Yeah, they really are. And especially for like Kill Team, Sisters of Battle doesn't have like a dedicated Kill Team pack. So you kind of have to like buy a Kill Team, like buy the unit that you want for a Kill Team, like piecemeal. Which is really hard if you're not using like eBay, and even if you are using eBay, it might still be pretty hard. So printing it off is just a better option, I think, for me. Plus the models I found all look really good, so no point in not doing it. And for proxying rules, like Games Workshop really doesn't like actually mind too much. Unless, like, the big rule is that they have to fit the same base. You should, yeah, you should. I don't know, I know the recommendation for Age of Sigmar is to play like a skirmish. I would not. So the skirmish rules aren't like that great for Age of Sigmar. They're not like Kill Team. Kill Team's pretty solid, like, because there's like all the options that you can give them. Yeah, Warcry is maybe okay. The issue with Warcry is that it's not really like, it doesn't play the same way as, it doesn't quite play the same way Age of Sigmar does. So that might be like a, and the other option is to build like skirmish teams. The skirmish game mode, instead of 1,000 points, like the point cost is still the same. Yeah. The point cost for skirmish is the same as it is for regular, like that each individual models cost the same point-wise, as they do in regular Age of Sigmar, like a full 2,000 point game. but with the skirmish game mode, you only go up to 250 points, which is like at most 10 models to buy and paint. Like especially if you're going like Gaven, you're probably going like 10 models at most. But skirmish is kind of a weird game to play. Me and Matt basically went like straight from like we bought like 500 points worth, and then we just both went straight up to like 2,000 point armies, like pretty much right away. And we enjoy doing that, but actually no. For Gaven army, yeah, maybe. I would recommend if you want to like start with a friend. The start collecting boxes usually, I think, will tally up to 1,000 points. Yeah, yeah. We played 1,000-point game, and then we just recently played 2,000 points. Yeah. Yeah. The start collecting boxes most. Yeah, the start collecting boxes are like all of the like recommended, or like the like a decent spread of heroes and heroes in regular units. The start collecting boxes, really? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. The 2-player starter pack that we got, definitely, that was 1,000 points though, right? Or 950. Or it was for me at least. No, wait. It was for me because I already had those 3 sequitors. Shit. Got them. I can't remember anything now. The 2-player starter packs, there's only been 2 Age of Sigmar 2-player starter packs. One still in production, one I think is not. And I think they're only... Yeah, Soul Wars. That was like 900 points, right? I think the 2 packs that exist out there that are like 2-player packs, both of them are Stormcast. And then the other faction, I think the first one that came out was Khorne, like Warriors of Khorne. And then the second one that, yeah, Soul Wars is what we got. So he got all the Nighthaunt figures, and I got all the Stormcast figures. And it's a pretty good deal, all things considered. I would recommend it. If you want to play... Yeah, if you want to play either of those factions, I'd recommend it. If you're not, like, interested, I wouldn't. The Star Collecting boxes are usually about $90, and there's one for, I think, every faction out there at the moment. I know Skaven has one. I think the only ones that don't have one are Lumineth. And only a couple of the, like, cities of Sigmar have them. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the secret, though, if you have 840 points, is that you only need to get, like, an endless spell, and a command point, and then you're up to 1,000 points. And an endless spell, I would recommend just getting, like, a proxy for an endless spell. As long as it's on the same base as the endless spell itself, it's like the same size base, it's legal. Like in a home game or whatever, you know, nobody will care. But like the big thing with Age of Sigmar is that, yeah, the big thing with Age of Sigmar, especially is that like, the size of the base is what really matters. And they're like very specific about it. So if you don't have the right size base, it isn't technically legal. So all these like foot soldiers for my Cities of Sigmar have 25mm bases, which are really small. Most like elite models will have maybe a 32mm base. Like war, well, with like big animals and stuff, it'll depend. What's the size of the like mounted warrior? Shit, I don't remember. I think the mounted warriors have like a 60 something. Yeah. I for sure, if you're like thinking about getting into like Age of Sigmar or Warhammer in general, I would recommend like starting it with a friend. Getting into it alone, I think, is like really hard and kind of scary. Because like you don't know if you're doing it right. And you won't like, you know, be able to have fun as readily. You know, if you get into it with a friend, you can like both pick up a kit and paint them in like 2 weeks, or a week. Or like show up at each other's houses or whatever and like paint them together. And just like chill and have fun. So like what I'm doing here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't have started playing Age of Sigmar if Matt hadn't shown interest in it as well. Just as simple as that. Just because like it's a much smaller community than 40k, and I'll let you in on a secret. I'm not a fan of 40k. Like I think the lore is like too grimdark for me. Like I don't like any of the factions. They're all really unlikable, in my opinion. And that's like by design. I mean, you know. But like, you know, I don't like even like Sister of the Battle. I like their aesthetic, but I really like their lore. Is just yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I don't know, like, and part of it I feel like because people sometimes miss the like obvious satire of the setting, and that's like really creepy to like hear them talk about it, and like they're clearly like missing the part where that's not supposed to be a good thing. Yeah, yeah, it is really kind of like an edge fest. Why like grimdark as a setting or as like a genre is sort of like a half joke at this point. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys like watch the same stuff that I do, but Overly Sarcastic Production, like a couple of weeks back, did an episode talking about grimdark. And they talk about Warhammer 40k actually for a little bit. So you know it is pretty cool. Yeah, like I don't know, it's just be right back. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. The mom drop. Alright. I'm still kind of waiting for the paint to dry on there. I figure while we're doing that, while we're waiting, might as well show off the full army, so that I can make Matt cry himself to sleep tonight. What's our record? 1-1-1. I think that's our record, right? That's horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Some people like really are into the Imperium of Man, um, and like, holy shit. No, they're just as bad, if not worse, than every other faction out there. Um, like the only thing that might be worse than the Imperium of Man is Chaos, and that's because Chaos is like supposed to be a twisted reflection of humanity. Actually, that might be a good idea. Um, like an end time 40k kind of scenario. Um, that might be interesting to see. Yeah, for sure. And it sucks because they're like the most heavily supported. You know, all the lore is about them, all the you know, all the lore is about them, all of the new models that they, you know, they're the ones that get them. There was actually, there was just recently like a new release of models for 40k, and it was for Necron and Space Marine. I don't think it's officially supported anymore. I'm sure people like still play it because I know there's still some people who I think play like old. Yeah, like it's officially like I don't think it's officially supported right now. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, they are rebooting fantasy. I know that. And like at some point they're gonna do that. But I think that's still like a year off from happening. And I don't know what they actually plan on doing. Like if they just plan on like rebooting some of the old fantasy factions into Age of Sigmar, or if they like plan on. Yeah, that's sort of what Warcry is supposed to be. But Warcry is like because of the faction, or because of like the setting that Age of Sigmar is in. Warcry is a little bit different, like mechanically. I know Matt researched a lot more into Warcry than I have, so he'll know like what I'm talking about here. Almost finished putting down everything I got. It's a lot of models. Right. I mean, I don't know. This is like I think this might have you at least competing. So get everything in the. You got the Star Ballista here, right up close. Got the Knight Incanter, that's the thing in gold. It's the hero wizard for Stormcast. Pick up the camera. Got the Eternal Guard right here. Iron Drakes. The Dwarven Overlord. 3 Guild General. Nomad Prince. This is our General proper. Half-bag. Hogsmith. This is like the thing that buffs up the artillery. Got Ironbreaker back here. Closest thing you can get to Balthazar Gelt. He's a canon character in Age of Sigmar, actually. Well, sort of. He's like referenced, like as a canon character. You'd be playing Stormcast, and you'd pick the Anvil of the Halden Hammer faction, which is they use like black and gold armor. Pretty cool looking, actually. Back here, an old favorite, Hellblaster Volley Gun, Kurnoth Hunters, Branch Witch, another Sylvaneth unit, Wild Riders, Sisters of the Thorn, and way in the back here we've got Tree Revenants for the Sylvaneth. So there's a lot to paint, which means there's going to be a lot of paint streams being done. So stay tuned. And I don't know, maybe the bombs will die by now. Alright. I think I applied this on too thickly. It looks good, I think. Listen, if you wanted me to wait until my army is fully painted, I wouldn't be playing until, like, January. Just because for me, like, fully painted will mean, you know, all the layering and highlight is done as well. Which you don't need to do for it to be... Yeah. And that was kind of like part of the problem with like Warhammer Fantasy in general. There was like no support for it. Yeah, most people just didn't play it. You know, most people didn't play Fantasy. I think Mordheim is actually pretty popular, as I understand it. Yeah. Okay, well, I think this test model we've gotten like the gist of what we want to do for the colors. I'm liking this thicker X bronze. I think it looks really got like that shiny look to it. Yeah. So I guess the next question is, what do we do next? Cult Classic? Yeah. I don't know, every time I hear like mentioned on Reddit, people seem to think highly of it, but I don't actually know much about it. They are? Nice. Is it like basically a skirmish mode for Warhammer Fantasy? Okay, I see. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. UW, like, kinda bad about that, I think. Like, oh my god, I would, like, I'd play 40k if, like, anything but Imperium got updates. Like, model updates. Not just codexes, everybody gets codexes. Oh yeah, for sure. There were a bunch of problems, I think, with Fantasy in general. Like, I mean, you just saw my army. That's like a Cities of Sigmar army. That would have been, like, similar to what a, you know, an old Fantasy army would have looked like. Just a whole bunch of models. like I could have a Stormcast army with like half the number of these models for the same point cost, and it'd be like just as good. You know, it's a lot easier to transport. Yeah, that's what a regular fantasy army would look like. You know, you have like almost 100 models, if not more. Because it was like all about these like, you know, strong like regimented lines of like battle lines of soldiers, like how you see my army sort of arranged here. Um, but like in Age of Sigmar, it's a lot. The combat's a bit more modern, I think. Like you don't set up in like regimented lines to and run at each other. At least not to the same extent that fantasy, and not to the same extent. Yeah, yeah. And 40k is a lot even more skirmishier, I think, especially on a kill team. For sure, yeah. And I think if Total War, Warhammer had come out like before they killed off fantasy and brought in Age of Sigmar, they maybe like if it came out like early enough, they might have not killed fantasy. Cause like that and Vermintide really brought like a lot of interest into fantasy. Um, yeah, like there just wasn't like a huge fan base for it at the time when they killed it. And frankly, I'm glad that they killed it. Sure, yeah, and I'm glad that they killed it because it sounds like the like fan base was really fucking toxic and gatekeepy. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Um. So like you know, like purging the sort of gatekeepy, you know, elitist fans who are like fantasy is the only good thing in this world. Um. What? I have not seen this. What? Is this like because fantasy came out? That's gotta suck for him, because I mean, like, Dark Elf didn't even get hit that hard. Like, most of Dark Elf stuff is still playable. Like, Executioners is still playable. It's like Dreadbeard and... Really? Oh my goodness. Dude, that's a feel bad, man. Seriously, like, because of the end time? The elves weren't even, like, treated badly in end times until, like, book 4, right? Like, I thought, like, the Elven Civil War, like, exploded in, like, book 2 or whatever. Oh, yeah, no. End times, like, having, like, read through a synopsis of the plot, it really does seem like a clusterfuck. And part of the reason is because they had, like, 30 different plot lines to resolve all at once. And they only had, like, 5 books to do it. You know, so I can imagine, like, I think if you have those, like, kind of conditions, anything you make is going to be pretty bad. I don't really, like, fault the writers in that regard. They really did, like, it did seem like they tried their best. Yeah, like, Bretonnia had a shit ending. The elves had, like, a really weird ending. Tomb King got fucking annihilated, which is a real field bad man. The entire continent that the lizard men were on got nuked by a moon, and killed by this Skaven, which is like really sad. But yeah, like end times was not great. Oh boy. Alright, I'll watch that video when the stream's done. Yeah, like Bretonnia learned that like they are. Yeah, pretty much they got ported over like entirely wholesale, I think. Like the Slann still exists, the Skink still exists. Yeah, actually, hold on, yeah. So, So, because I'm a sheepgate that doesn't like buying things, so somebody made a model of Kroq-Gar on his Carnosaur Grimlock, and they posed it in exactly the same way that the official model by GW is posed. So this is a completely legal Old Blood Thoris on a Carnosaur. And he's on a proper size base. Completely legal. Yeah, it's a real pog ship. Printed it off for free. Unfortunately, that model no longer exists because GW lawyers got to the guy. I'm certain he has been, actually no, he's still active, so I know he didn't get marked. Yeah, that's like my centerpiece for my story. That was like, I actually bought Seraphon to start with, because I knew I could print that model off. And then I found out that, like, GW hasn't updated any of their models in like 15 fucking years. Because with the Thoris, and with the Seraphon, as they're now called, being ported over entirely from the Lizardmen, came with no model update. So, get some ugly ass models. Which is a real field Batman. But I do have a number of Thoris. I won't be playing them because they're not like, I can't ally them into any of my armies. They are an order army, but like, they're kind of pretty hostile lore-wise to everybody else. Because their like sole deal is just murdering the fuck out of Chaos. That's like all they give a fuck about. What?
Thin walls, teenage girl. Talk quiet.
Alright, I'll be quieter.
Thank you. What are you doing?
Streaming.
Oh.
Say hi, you're on the internet.
That's okay. Bye.
All of them? Damn, that's a shame. Those are some good gift models. You saved them though, right? No, that was my sister actually. My mom's the other woman that came in earlier. Alright. I want to keep painting, but I don't know what I want to paint. Actually, let's take a crack at this, huh? This is our Hellblaster volley gun. Well, no, this would just be a lot of lead belcher. And like some wood color. Dude, I have some Battletech stuff. Actually, fun story. I got into painting because my dad was super into painting Battletech minis. Like the mechs and stuff. He didn't use washes either. He'd do it all freehand. It's insane. Actually, I've got like some of his stuff here. Like an old Battletech model. Oh yeah, no, I've got like a starter kit. I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to play it. I like read over the rules and then they just like left my mind immediately. You know, what was even cooler, because my dad also didn't like paying money to corporations. So he'd take metal minis because they used to do all these models in like metal, and he would make a cast mold of them, and he'd then proceed to make a whole bunch of other mechs from that mold out of plastic. So he didn't have to spend as much money either. I don't think you can do that anymore, unfortunately, because I think now all the models are resin plastic. And you can't cast with that, because it'll, like, bend and melt. Yeah. Yeah, my dad was real cool, dude. Feels bad, man. I wish I had, like, some of his stuff, because a lot of his, like, equipment would be really handy for painting and, like, working on this stuff. Unfortunately, I think my uncle has it all. Maybe. Does it have, like, menus? Yeah. I know Battletech is still, like, in production. Like, they still make, like, rule sets for it and stuff, but I don't know anybody that plays it outside of, like, my dad's friend. Okay. I know you've been talking about that. Might check it out. Oh, you know what? I'll do one of the turn-off hunters, because I did have an idea of what I wanted to do for the paint scheme. I don't think... Oh, okay. Is that the one that you linked in the Discord a few days ago? Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Age of Sigmar, you don't have to buy the battle tomes if you know where to look. And that's all I will say on that. Alright, I know I had the... we need the Sylvanas. Here it is. There. Listen, I've endorsed pirating models from GW and printing them off in this stream, so they're gonna have to catch me alive, alright? They'll have to drag me kicking and screaming as I swear and cry and shit myself. But I really wish I had, like, any skill in making 3D models online, like on a computer, with, like, Blender or some shit. Because I just make, like, models to print off for myself. Like, you know, Stormcast proxies or whatever the fuck. You know, like, that'd be really, I think, helpful. And then, of course, I put them on Thingiverse because I genuinely don't give a fuck about GW's profit, you know? See if I can find the... Where's the paint scheme? Yeah. I think, the paint scheme I'm going to go for with the Sylvanas is similar to the Iron Oak paint scheme. Which is, like they're sort of like buddies with the dwarves. So they've got like a sort of metallic, like a gray and brown look with them. Yeah. Like, I don't care about, like, profit motives for corporations, you know? Or, like, profit margin for corporations, you know? It's just, you know, not, like, my problem. Like if it was like a small company that like, you know, like an indie company or some shit, I'd be, I'd buy their shit. Especially if it was like GW quality, I'd buy their shit. But as it is, like GW, a massive corporation, so I really don't like care if I'm taking a few bucks out of their pocket. So, see, use Glacier Gray for our base tone. Alright, grab a bigger brush, I think. No, texture brush. Ah, that'll work. Actually. That'll work. I think. Alright. So what we're gonna do with this guy, this guy and I think the rest of the Sylvaneth model that I got, is we're gonna do gray, like, underbark, with like a brownish, bark, with, bronze, like the bronze that I was using earlier as a highlight, and I think we're gonna do purple for like the blade, and like any of the like innard. And I think that'll look cool. So we'll do that. So we're gonna start with this gray, and I don't know. I'd maybe like to use a darker gray, because this is pretty light. The color I'm using right now is Glacier, which is just like really light gray. I would maybe, if I wanted a darker gray, use Celestia Gray. Unfortunately, Celestia Gray is kind of a bit too like greenish for my taste. So we're gonna stick with Glacier because it's like a pure gray. And it's, Skaven, which we were talking about earlier. I believe Glacier is still a legal model for Skaven. I don't actually know all that much about what Skaven can and can't use still. I think pretty much everything they have is still usable. With like maybe a few exceptions. I think like the heroes aren't anymore. Or at least not all of them are. And they got a few new models as well recently, since Age of Sigmar has come out. Like I think the Warplock Judeos or whatever are still usable. The Bombardiers are still usable. I'm trying to think what else is still usable. The Rattling Guns I think are still maybe still usable. Doom Wheels I know are. Icketclaw, I don't think he's a named character. I do think his model is still exists. He's the guy on the Doom Wheel, right? Yeah, I think he might still... I think his model might still exist. I don't think he's a named character anymore. I know there's one named character that, like... Okay, yeah, that's probably what they did. Cause, like, a lot of, like, the named characters got, like, generalized. Like, the Free Guild General on a Griffin is the old Carl Franz model. And the, you know, you just saw the Carnosaur Blood, or Old Blood, that was Krokgar. I think Mazamundi got turned into just a general clan. Lord Croak still exists. Like, he completely exists. He's still, like, a mummified clan. Yeah. It was kind of like what they did with the models. Like, anybody that was, like, a named character that they wanted to still use, they turned into, Lord Croak. Well, if I remember correctly, the lizard men, like, don't they, like, fucking, like, dip on fucking, like, giant spaceships or some shit? They're, like, the only, like, actual survivors of the end time. Which is why they reported over almost completely. So, pretty neat. Yeah, yeah, I think, like, right before the big, like, moon fucking landed on Lustria, the clan loaded up onto giant spaceships and fucking left the world. So they were, like, still around during the Age of Sigmar to fuck around. Which is hilarious, but also kind of weird. Which is just sort of like how 40k, or how Warhammer is in general, I think. A lot of the time, at least. I don't know, I've suddenly lost track of, like, anything to talk about. I was gonna talk about, like, what I'm doing, but I think I've already explained that. If anybody's just checking in, or just started watching, I'm painting a Kurnoth Hunter with great size. And I'm painting him with a modified Iron Oak. Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. I think Mazamundi died during it, but, like, yeah, they, like, loaded up on the spaceships and fucking dipped. They were in kind of, like, a weird place at the start of Age of Sigmar. Like, everybody but the clan were, like, basically sort of, like, similar to Chaos Demons, in that they were, like, manifestations of the clan, like, psychic power. They've since, like, changed that, at least slightly, to not be the case. Oh, for sure, yeah. Even in, like, old Warhammer, they were kind of weird. You know, I think they fit in a little bit better in Age of Sigmar, where everything's kind of wacky. Oh, fun story about this Skaven, actually. So, Nagash, I shit can see if Matt's still here. He is. So, Nagash, was setting up like a big spell to basically kill everybody in existence, and then raise them all as undead under him, as Nagash does. They built like a big ass black pyramid, you know, as he does. And he was setting up the spell, and a bunch of Skavens showed up. They like teleported into the Black Pyramid. And like their being there, their presence in the Black Pyramid fucked up the spell. So it like backfired on Nagash. And it didn't kill everybody. So the Skaven saved existence and everybody from dying. Yeah, basically, yeah. Like, they're super strong against Chaos. Most of them do, like, extra damage, or hit harder, or, like, hit more often, against Chaos. They're really strong against Chaos. Or, like, anything with, like, a Chaos tag on it. They also recently got, like, an update, so that they're not, like, just physical manifestation, or, like, spiritual manifestations or whatever. They're, like, physical beings now. Because it was still, like, weird how they were before. Yeah. We're almost done with all the gray here. Yeah, the Leathermen are cool. Why do I have, like, nothing else to say? Alright. I think that's gonna be it for the Glacier, maybe? Yeah, I think that's everything under the... Yeah, alright. And I believe the next color we're gonna use is Inox Hide or Dryad Bark, one of the two. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that's one of the strongest points, actually, about Age of Sigmar, is, like, the new lore. You know, everybody's a little bit different now. Like, the Stormcast aren't, like, the sort of faceless, base mine, copies that they sort of look like. The elves are... So the elves are, like, everybody but the Cities of Sigmar elves are, like, real weird. So... I think before the Age of Chaos happened, where, like, Chaos showed up and wrecked everybody's day, several of the elven gods, Teclis, Tyrion, and Malekith. Oh yeah, for sure. Teclis, Tyrion, Malekith, and Morathi, who is not a god, teamed up and kidnapped Slaanesh. And lock them up in a, like, sub-realm of sorts, and have been pulling all of the souls, the elven souls that they sucked up during the end times, and, like, making Slaanesh regurgitate them, and then from those souls, they're making, like, the new elven faction. So, like, that's what the Daughters of Cain are. That's what the Luminous Realm Lords are. We should definitely be seeing, like, a Dark Elf, like a Malekith version of that soon. I know, right? Yeah, it's real crazy. But that doesn't apply to the elves in the Cities of Sigmar. Those elves were, like, the few survivors. that weren't eaten by Slaanesh during the end times. Because there were a few. Yeah. Oh, the Idoneth Deepkin, they were also pulled from Slaanesh. They're like the new sort of sea elves. Sort of. They're like sea vampire elves. Sort of. Yeah, so if I remember correctly, the Idoneth Deepkin... No, the Daughters of Cain were pulled first, I think. Then the Idoneth Deepkin. It was one of the two that were pulled out first. Teclis took the Idoneth Deepkin and, like, tried to mold them into the, like, Lothern faction. But they, like, came out wrong because they were still, like, corrupted by Slaanesh or some shit. And they ran away. And now they're, like, trying to escape the gaze of Teclis so that they don't get, like, destroyed and turned into better elves. Yeah, and then the Lumineth Realm Lords are a combination of Tyrion and Teclis, I believe. The Daughters of Cain, like I said, and Morathi, she, like, made them so that they'd worship Cain, but Cain doesn't exist anymore. He's, like, not a god, like, he doesn't exist. So what they're actually doing is worshiping Morathi. And she's, like, trying to become a goddess because it's Morathi and she's fucking shit up. I think actually the next, like, big story arc is gonna be involving her and, like, her attempts to become a goddess. And I've, like, predicted, you know, because I have the big brain 400 IQ, she's gonna fuck up, and end up releasing Slaanesh, which means all 4 Chaos Gods will be on the field, which is really bad. Alright, get that next color going. I think it was... Rhinox Tide, that was it. Oh yeah, for sure. Archaon actually... Archaon almost got close to, releasing them at some point. They, like, found the hiding spot of Slaanesh, like, where Slaanesh was being kept, and broke a few of the chains holding them, prisoner. Unfortunately, he got interrupted because, one of the Death Generals, started marching on Archaon's home base and, like, got to his tower and was starting to tear it down when, when Archaon showed back up. He was not happy. I think the book is called Wrath of the Everchosen, if you're interested. Because, like I said, not happy. And I wouldn't be either, you know. Bigger brush for the Ghost Medium base. Oh geez, I just kind of realized that the stream went down. That is my bad. Okay. Sorry about that. Although I suppose this may be a good sign, that I should start wrapping it up in the next 20 minutes or so. And we'll end at 3 hours in. That sounds good with you guys. Yeah. Thou shalt not, stream. I will ignore it as I do all signs from God. God can come down here and tell me himself. I'm a fucking pussy. Yeah. I think I needed to change the latency. I guess that was like what was going on with it. Yeah. Other than that, you know, it's fine. Yeah, I'm liking how this color scheme goes actually. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I should be able to get a base coat of brown on the entire model. And that'll, I think, kind of be like the finishing point for the night. There'll still be plenty of work to do next time. Speaking of next time, I don't know what to do. When next time is gonna be. Sort of depends on like my usual work schedule. So if I'm like streaming, you know, suppose I could do like quick streams, you know, every night. That, you know, at the same time, you know, if I'm not like that. Oh, the fuck? Where'd all this brown paint get on my hand? Huh. Supposed to be painting the mini, not my fucking hand. Right. Yeah, and then of course the VOD should stay up for, or the not a VOD, is it a VOD? I should stay up for 2 weeks after this stream is done. So if you guys want to like take painting advice or some shit from this, you know, feel free to do so. You'll have 2 weeks to kind of keep it. I might also like I know there's a way to like record these and turn them into YouTube clips or something. Actually, I know how to do that, yeah. The stream thing that I'm using has that function built in. I can like record it with a button press. So that'll be handy. And then I can upload it to YouTube. Which I think will be really helpful. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to sort of do like a political chat maybe while I'm painting. But then like, I don't know, I feel like a large part of political streams and videos out there these days is like reacting to something. And kind of hard to react to anything when I'm like, you know, painting. Also, I'm like, I don't know, you've probably seen, I'm not like the best at talking. I sometimes like just sort of trail off a lot of the time. So, you know, still, we'll see. I don't know. Could just be like talking and painting, doing like a show Bob Ross kind of deal. You know, get like one of those ASMR mics and just be like, "Hey guys, it's your boy, the Weeaboo Warrior, coming at you yet again with a paint stream. Now tonight, we're gonna make all kinds of happy little mistakes and accidents, but it's okay, because, we got happy little trees here." That'd be pretty dope. I don't know. And also like ASMR though, you usually want to have like a really good mic. And if I'm still at home, holy shit. I mean, guys, there's been 2 interruptions tonight already from family members. Plus I have both a dog and a cat. The cat likes to bang on the door here. Because he's an asshole like that. Good for the chest and head and back. Now, do the legs and crotch. And of course, because I'm doing 2 base coats, it doesn't matter if I'm like accidentally getting the gray with my brown, because I'll be painting over any like spots like that later. Because as always, just remember, it's just paint. You can go right over it with a different color if you don't like it, or if you make a mistake. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I know I also wanted to do, I mentioned it earlier in this game, but I don't know if anybody from then is still here. Plan on doing some world building for my own fantasy world on here as well. Mostly I think map making, with like a little bit of, maybe a little bit of, lore building, or like writing. So, it'll be cool to see, you know, that I can do that on like the computer, and I might do like face cam for that, hard to say. Yeah, it might just be like a general like art thing. I don't know. Way too thick. Unlike real life, you do not, unlike the gold, you do not want your paint to be too thick, because it will smother the details on your model. This can happen too if you add like too many layers, but like too many layers is like you know, 6 or 7. So it's usually better to like build up with really small thin layers, like really light thin layers, than to do like 1 or 2 big thick layers, because those like extra thick layers will just, you know, it'll make it look messy. There's like plenty of memes about like, you know, thinning your paint and like what happens if you don't thin your paint. I'm sure you should, if you've like done any like research into this kind of hobby, you've maybe seen a few of them. Yeah, you don't want to have your paint too thick, otherwise it'll cover up details. That's the general thesis there. But then if it's like too thin, it won't cover up entirely, fucking up the details literally. See, that's kind of the secret. To make it like tabletop ready, you don't need to do most of like the details. You can just do like these like general colors over the entire model and do like a shade wash, and then you're pretty much done. You don't need to do anything. I will be doing like hard details because I like doing them, and I think they look really fucking good when you do. And that, I think the term for that is parade ready. That's for like contests and stuff. That you do have to be a little bit more concerned. I wouldn't be concerned about fucking up details in if you're just painting to put them on a tabletop. Yeah, because like you can just do like a few general paints and then a shade wash, and then it doesn't matter. And any mistakes that you do make, you can go over in the right color. Like see, I don't know how well you can see it. I just accidentally brushed the hand there with a bit of brown. That doesn't matter, because I can just go over that the next time I do gray, and it'll cover that brown completely. So that's kind of like the thing. I wouldn't stress it. I find painting relaxing. I think a lot of people do when they do it. You know, it's not like something you should stress about, I think. Matt, the moderator, he's not on anymore, but he was talking about like he hates doing mini painting. He's much more into terrain building and painting. And I can't stand terrain building. I do, like, it's really tedious a lot of the time for me. Oh yeah, like see, you can probably see it here. That like brown stripe that I just did without really looking. Doesn't matter, because I haven't painted this yet. And when I do paint it, it's going to be in a different color, and it's going to completely cover this brown paint. That's another reason, by the way, why you want to do really thin paint. Because when they dry on, they won't take up as much space. You get more layers before you start messing with the detail, like the model detail. So, you know, mistakes don't matter as much. See, what else is there? Oh, right, this last foot and arm. Yeah. You know, like I said, you know, I think this is really relaxing. You know, casual enough that I can do, and still just like watch the stream chat and communicate. So yeah. Alright. I think we're gonna wrap up in about 5 minutes. Let's just do. Oh, no. Fucked it up. Alright. Yep. I will set up some social media, like Twitter and stuff, and I will like post them to like the community or whatever that Twitch has. And I think I might also. I don't think I didn't record any of this, so I don't think I'll be able to put like any edited versions of this onto YouTube. But I can upload the entire VOD onto YouTube. They've gotten like friends that prefer like edited YouTube videos of streams to like the streams themselves, which I can understand. You know, I'm kind of similar. You can recommend that instead to them. And one last arm, and then we're, I think, done for the night. Yeah. I'm gonna try and stream tomorrow night. I think it'll be later. I'll probably end up like starting at about 10, maybe 10:30. As opposed to, I think I started at 9 tonight. Yeah, be sure to follow me, you know. Recommend me to people you think might be interested. That kind of stuff. Yeah. I'll see what I can do about the camera focus. Cause I do want you guys to like be able to see at least a little bit better some of the, like the details in this. You know, just seeing like these sort of splotches of color on the model aren't as entertaining, I think, as, you know, watching the final polished product come together. Yeah. I think that's everything I'm gonna do in Bound done. I might do these horns in a different color. Yeah, well, the brown for now. It occurred to me that maybe I want them in like iron or something, like a lead belcher, like build up into a. I could try my hand at non-metallic metal. I don't do that very often because I have metallic paints, and I don't think that like the effort put into building up to a non-metallic look looks like as good as just using metallic paint. Yeah, it would be interesting, and I mean, part of this is about like expanding my skills, so might be interesting to try. We're almost hitting 3 hours. So if any of you are interested in catching my next stream, which hopefully I should start tomorrow. But tomorrow at a later time, 10:30 Central Standard Time, give or take. You know, if that's something you're interested in, I would recommend following me now, and whatever the Twitch subscription is, and checking in tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll probably continue doing this Kurnoth Hunter, and yeah, I might, depending on like how long that takes, that might take up the entire stream. I'm not actually sure. This is a bigger model than what I normally end up doing. So yeah, yeah, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. This Carnoth Hunter, maybe something more like maybe one of the dwarves, I think. After that, the Cogsmith might be a fun model to paint. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Gonna end the stream. Wrap up the night. Thanks for checking in. I'm glad to be streaming. I don't know. I'm still pretty new to this. It's my first stream. Figure, figured I'd try my hand at it. Yeah. Good night.